Hello there, everybody. It's Chris with New Adventures in Skyrim. Today we're doing some out-of-character business to play with my magic stuff. Um, I know what you're probably thinking, like, what is that beautiful thing before me? The truth is, I don't know, and I don't know where you can get it. A couple years ago, I bought a box of cards from someone who was quitting, and they happened to have several of these in there, and it came with the transaction. And I thought it would be a great idea to put it in this and show you the reason I have no friends and will never have friends because that's my blue commander. Azami Lady of the Scrolls. This is a wizard counterspell deck. I have my basic lands. I'll count them at some point. Um, I'm trying to keep it all on camera to not mess with the focus, so it may seem kind of janky, which it is because I don't have my setup yet. I don't know how I'm going to end up doing this. I'll have my non-basic lands, which Myriad Landscape, Reliquary Tower. This is one of the newer ones for, old Magic players like me. For some context, I played Magic back in around 99, up until 99 2000, and quit until I want to say 3 or 4 years ago now. Started playing again like I had never played Commander before, so I have these cards that are in to me, but these ones are new. So um, Temple of the False God. You need that flash in mono blue. Lotus Field, another newie. This is a beautiful mono blue card also, as is this. Put those up on there. This is a jank combo I have in this deck, and I straight up have it in here to be an awful human being. I'll bring those up in a moment. In fact, I'll do that now. This could go in so many other decks, and I may move it, but I want to destroy your lands in blue. So the gist of the combo is when he becomes tapped, I may put a land from, as you can see, the second from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So what I would end up doing is popping this off, destroying something of yours right before tapping him. I want to put more mechanics in here that would allow him to tap, and you'll see there's a huge tap mechanic in here, but he misses the mark. So it is just something you don't expect in blue, and I put it there because, again, I want to be an awful human being. Next, we're going to go into the third from the last series of cards, which are just the blue bombs in here. These are not in any particular order. I think I may have put some towards the end. This is just a great one, which I'm going to talk about again a little bit in a moment because Modern Horizons had some cards, these, that people kind of throw out. They're not super useful. What I ended up doing was, as you can see, this one spits out 1/1 human wizards, and I keep them, have a handful of them set aside for when I do this. If people are okay with it, I'll end up dropping those out there and using those as 0/1 wizards. Just something, a cool little trick. So Docent of Perfection, High Tide, which is just you have to have in mono blue. Again, when you draw a card, each opponent mills 2. You'll see why that's kind of important here. Again, draw cards dings people. His power and toughness. I mean, you can read it. I'm going to go through a little quicker, let it focus, and you could pause or read. Unless I have something to kind of comment on in particular. Guile is just a, have to have in this. I'll leave it to pause if you need to. Here's another Sly card. This deck is about, I want to have an answer for everything in this deck. And this is one. If something has, you get the gist of it. But I also like the ability to pull it out of nowhere with that exile ability. Versus Incubator for wizards. Obviously, I'm going to be dropping wizards for cheaper. One thing is that you need to always be mindful of the fact that it is all creatures on the battlefield. That escapes a lot of people in Commander. Mystical Tutor, I'm going to go search for an instant, reveal it, put it on top, and then tap a wizard and immediately grab it. I can bounce another card back with this. You know that one. I'm going to steal that, steal everything. I like this one because if I want to not target it but want to use it, I can do that. For example, someone tries pulling out a Torment of Hellfire, and maybe they think you can't counter it. Correct, but then I'm just going to take it and use it against you instead. This is essentially avoiding discard. This is another new little twist here. I like the key here is that the reason it's in this deck is it blinks a permanent you control. It doesn't only have to be a creature. So and that's important for later. Cyclonic Rift, yeah, I know. Now this one, if I could summarize this deck, it's this. I'm just gonna do what I want. Again, you'll get when I start to see when you start to see how I cycle through cards in this, that'll be great. This is another one, split second, but this is another tricky one because people think they can get away with things like, you know, activating abilities, like not with this. Um, Polymorphous Jest, got it. Quicksilver Element, I have not got to really play. This is a new addition to this. I have never ever got to use it, so I'm eager um, to see what kind of shenanigans I can play with and get off with that. Mirror Maid, this is another newbie, which, oh man, this thing is going to be just amazing. Magic Mirror, again, another one I haven't got to play with since putting it in here. Vidalcan Orrery, yep, because blue needs more flash. Here we go with, again, a combat trick. Everyone's expecting counterspell and counterspell, so Soul Ring. It's another one. Here's another new one. I may pull this, but we'll see. I like it because of the +1/+0, which wizards need for if we ever go to combat. Swiftfoot, Lotus Bloom. My buddy Sean gave this to me. The only Lotus Bloom I have. Good looking out. Jace. Jace is the place. If you see his biggest one is the +1 with untap all creatures you control. You'll see why that's relevant. Everything else is just gravy on this one. Echoing Truths, bouncing stuff. Again, another way to avoid, counter and hexproof and the such. Yep, again, I'm going to stop you from doing something that you just assume is a gimme, and then I'm going to draw a card for doing that. Ley Line of Anticipation. Everyone loves seeing that come out on the board before the game even starts. Caged Sun is just a bomb. This was, relevant. I was surprised. I've almost drawn out and been playing on the seat of my pants a couple times, and that's nice to have. And Omniscience, why not? And then maybe, uh, yeah, you get the gist. So now I'm going to launch into my next favorite part of this deck. No, yeah, second from favorite. And these are the wizards. Now, again, this is relevant because of her spell. Keep in mind, because of the way that's worded, any wizard can tap at any time. They're not affected by summoning sickness. I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes, but I'm going to also try not to prattle on. So yeah, everybody's favorite goodie. He's just a staple. Baral, he says it all. I'm going to counter spells with less and then maybe loot for it. Venser. This is just such a great card because that effect is so tricky. The other thing I liked was if I bounce him back with that Teferi's Time Shift, for example. I'm going to do that twice. Just nice. Again, talking about wizards tapping. Everybody hates this card, which is why I love it. Mist Caller, this is one I just added recently, as a matter of fact. Again, keep this in mind with this one. It's super important that I have flash. That's why Emergent Zone gives flash. Vidalcan Orrery, Ley Line of Anticipation all allow me to. People think they're going to maybe go off with, for example, Krenko and spit out 20 goblins. That's fine. They do that and have at it. Or I'm sorry, this is more of a blink one. There we go. I'm thinking of another card. This is about graveyard recursion and things like that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I know this is again another. The thing I love the most about this is if I don't need that ability, the cycling ability, where again I'm going to deny you something that you take as a gimme, tapping a Soul Ring, for example. Or I don't think that. No, is that one because it's not a. I don't know if that's considered a mana ability because it's an artifact. Whereas land, you can't necessarily generally counter or deal with mana. That's just kind of a gimme. However, or I could just get a 3/1 flying wizard and tap them to draw a card. It's nice and flexible. Um, yeah, I'm gonna steal your stuff. I'm gonna steal all your creatures now. Again, this one is just so sneaky because of that last ability where I can just keep bringing it back. Again, I can tap him on the way out if I need to. Play him, counter ability, cast a counter spell, a bounce spell, a creature spell, or something with flash. Bring him back if I want to counter something again. Tap him on the way out and draw again. Again, this is a new addition. I've never got to throw this down yet, so I'm excited about that. Yeah. I'm gonna counter something, maybe Cyclonic Rift, I don't know. Urtide, this one you can see the condition of the card. This is one of my old cards I love. I can't get rid of, I'll never get rid of. It's a wizard and it counter spells, so this just flexibility. This was a new edition I sat on for a while and realized I needed to do this. Um, it's so much on one thing, and on top of it's just a 3/4 body that can tap for a card. This is just tap for more mana, and eventually I'm going to tap for 3. And he's got the evasion built in, which is nice. This I just put in. If I cannot have an answer in this deck, and it's not a creature, I am going to go and find it and then hopefully cast it with Flash. Yep, Teferi. Again, more Flash. It's talking about those wizards and the relevancy of that, but this is limited to creatures specific. This card I think I've gotten out once and won on that turn. I've never got to play it, and I want to just stack everything, as you can see. And then everybody's favorite Memnarch. Now, where am I at with time? Over, of course. So, but we'll go through this. Counter spells. We got Rewind, which is untapping. That I can hopefully counter and spit out some tokens. Overwhelming Denial. Sorry, I thought it went out of focus for a moment. This one's Exiling as also. This again, flexibility with the other parts, depending on if you're just countering one and want to do other things, or you don't even have to counter spells. I get ahead of myself thinking that's what you always have to do. Desertion. This is just a typical me spell. I'm going to counter spell and then steal things on the way out, hopefully for cheaper by cost reduction. This one's just coming out of left field. I mean, I can't just. I so wanted to just counter someone's Soul Ring on turn 1 with this. That is my dream play. I don't even care what happens after that. So it's hopefully not going to happen. Well, hopefully that will happen. Hopefully from their perspective, not going to happen. Again, discard an island and another card. So they're hopefully thinking I'm out of mana. Pact of Negation. Everybody loves this. My old favorite counterspell. Again, this is one that I had from when I used to play. And then this is the new one. I just can't wait to cast. I have not got to play this. I just want to close the game out with "You Didn't Say Please." This is here for sheer spite and flavor, because there are other counter spells that do a lot more and probably for less. So that's my wizard deck. That's why I don't have many friends. I hope you all enjoyed this little sit down with me. And if so, hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Blue is the best. If you didn't like that, I countered it.